Today's video introduces a new scambaiting persona because I think Manuel Tourneur was getting a bit too well known, and I think maybe scammers weren't responding to him because a simple Google search of his name leads to the videos in this series. Manuel isn't dead though, he's just gone to live on a farm in the countryside where he can run around all day in the sunshine. This is the scam email we'll be responding to today. Let's read it in full. Attention is needed. Greetings from the BMO Bank. I have vital information which needs to be attended immediately. Did you authorise anyone to pick up your lottery fund, one through your email from our branch in Washington, D.C.? One Mr. Andrew Fox came to our office yesterday, in your respect to claim your 3.5 million United States dollars, which has been, credited to us for the past 4 months now by the Coca-Cola company to be transferred to your, account. So we decided to write to you to make sure that you're aware of your 3.5 million United States dollars, which is in our branch office in Washington, D.C. We want you to get back to us with the following details. And of course, it's the sort of details you should never share with a stranger on the internet. The above listed details is needed as fast as possible if you did not authorise anyone to pick up your fund from our branch in Washington, D.C. Weird initial caps on that last bit. So yeah, a really common form of scam, probably designed to intercept an existing scam in progress between a different scammer and their victim, and tries to introduce urgency by claiming the bank will just give the money to some rando who walked in unless we do something with haste. And of course, haste is the enemy of caution. So enter my new scambaiting persona, and because this conversation took place on the 5th of May 2025, which is a bank holiday, my name will be Hank Bolliday. I replied, sure. But first, can you answer my question? What is BMO? Also, please can you tell me about your nearest airport? It's important. Now, you might have noticed that this message I've shown you looks like a mock-up of an email rather than a screenshot, and that's because it is. This scambaiting session took a couple of really weird turns, and so what you'll be seeing here is a mix of email text and screenshots recovered from various different sources. I will explain more about that later in the video, and where the reasons for all of this will become fully apparent. The scammer, who for reasons I will explain later, is named in this video only as Daryl, which happens to be the given name of the real CEO of BMO Bank, replied to say, "Hello, Mr. Mrs. If you're no longer interested in receiving your funds, then you should please kindly make it clear to me right now." I repeated, "What is a BMO and how many of them do I need?" Daryl said, "What's really happening, because I don't understand you at all." I asked a question, that's all. "You could answer it," I retorted. Scammer Daryl replied, "If you're interested in receiving your funds, then we want you to get back to us with the following details." You know the kind. I pointed out, "I still await your answer to my earlier question." Daryl explained, "BMO means Bank of Montreal. This is a bank. Does it mean you don't know that BMO is a bank?" I asked, "What's the O?" Daryl continued explaining, "Now what's the short form of calling Bank of Montreal?" Now it turns out the scammer was right about this. BMO is actually short for Bank of Montreal, but let's not allow facts to get in the way of our fun. "That's not what I'm asking," I objected. "B equals bank, M equals Montreal, O equals..." Daryl snapped, "Are you out of your senses? Then remove O from Montreal and call it Montreal. Now how does it look? You're full of asking stupid questions. Best regards, Daryl." I said, "But listen, if the B stands for bank and MO stands for Montreal, then why isn't it BA for bank? Shouldn't it be BAMO? Just asking." The scammer replied, "I know have some problems, that's why you've been asking useless questions." Taken aback, I complained, "That seems a bit rude. Why are you being rude? Perhaps I should have words with your manager at the BAMO." Scammer Daryl asserted, "I'm the CEO, Bank of Montreal, BMO Bank, and I have never been rude to you because I have been very honest with you, but you're not understanding it. Now, how do you prefer to receive your funds, bank transfer or ATM card delivery or cash delivery?" "What's the difference between those 4 options?" I asked. Daryl just pasted out a bit of template. "Your information has been confirmed, so you have to choose between these 3 types of delivery and their cost. Let me know how you prefer to receive your funds. 1. ATM card delivery, $300. 2. Bank transfer, $100. 3. Cash delivery, which cost $150. "I thought you said there were 4 options," I complained. Well, someone said there were 4 options. Oh yeah, it was me. Anyway, Daryl repeated the previous email, but obligingly added option 4. Online banking, cost $500. Well, that's weird, I thought. Why didn't you show option 4 before? Is there an option 5? 6? Please list all the options at once, then I can make a fully informed decision. "That's the final option," said Daryl. Well, This is disappointing. Can you try a little harder? Daryl replied, I see you're not serious with your life at all, so keep on playing with yourself. Not helpful, I replied. And I can't believe that after all your talk of options and the letter O, I'm no closer to getting the consignment box. Daryl said, consignment box delivery is cash delivery. What don't you understand? That was one of the options, was it not? I asked. Or is the cash going to be delivered in a big heap of loose notes? Ridiculous. I don't know why you would do that. It's going to be in big boxes, assured the scammer. Wow, okay, I said excitedly. How big and how many? Daryl confirmed, this is only $3.5 million you're receiving. It will only be in 2 containers once you make the payment. Now we're getting somewhere. I asked what size they are. Why did you not provide that detail? Also, what colour and surface finish? Trying to steer things back on track, Daryl said, that has nothing to do with you. You don't have to ask me any questions regarding that. You have to know your limit of questions. Are you a criminal, or do you want to rub me on my way? Ew. I replied, I didn't completely understand that. I don't want to rub you at all. In fact, that sounds horrible. Anyway, what's actually happening with the consignment box now? Daryl said, it will be delivered to you safely once you make the payment, that all. If you know you're not interested in receiving your funds, then kindly make it clear to me. I have other clients to attend to, but because it's your turn to get your funds transferred or delivered to you, I'm here to make it happen. But I don't understand the reason why you're acting as if we're playing here. This is an office, so you have to take everything here serious. So you need my address to deliver the consignment boxes? I asked. Yes, confirmed Scammer Daryl. Now I think we've pretty much exhausted the possibilities for preliminary messing about, so I decided to provide a fake address. My address is Christmas Cottage, 1 Mayday Avenue, Whitsun, UK. Your full name? Asked Daryl. My name is Henry August Bolliday, I said. Your information has been confirmed, confirmed Daryl. So you have to choose between these 3 types of delivery and their cost, and let me know how you prefer to receive your funds. I replied, the cash delivery consignment boxes, please, as previously discussed. Also, is it possible to disguise the boxes in some way to conceal the cash contents? I'm thinking maybe inconspicuous gold bars or similar. That's none of your business, snapped Scammer Daryl. All you need to make sure you receive your funds immediately you make the payment. And just remember that you're the one who is delaying to receive your funds, and I have already explained everything to you as a good person you are, but I don't know the reason why you are not even understanding me at all, but have to understand me because whatever I'm doing here is for your own good. There was a bit of back and forth conversation about payment methods, including some of my usual nonsense about fund thrust that I don't have copies of, and during which the scammer assured me, bear it in mind that this fund is not a money laundry, and also it will prove that this fund is not a drug money. Nobody asked. This is your life opportunity. Then it was resolved that the best way for the Bank of Montreal, a bank, to receive a payment would be Steam Wallet gift cards, because of course, I decided to play along with the Steam thing and promised to go and look at them, then showing the scammer a picture of a Steam gift card and pointing out, it clearly says it's for small boys, not for banks. Are you sure this is the correct card? Are you a small boy? The scammer got excited about this and asked me to send the other side of the card with the numbers on it. I replied, saying, here it is, but attaching nothing. The scammer complained, send it well, because I'm not seeing the picture of the card. You have to send it well. I did send it very well, I explained. I clicked really hard on the send button. Maybe you should try receiving it well. Things went quiet for a bit, so I decided to try a bit more bait on the hook. So I went and actually bought a couple of Steam gift cards, then gave them to my kids to redeem into their own accounts, then sent a photo of just the fronts of the 2 cards to the scammer. The scammer replied, I just came into my office to pick up something. I saw your message, and the reason why I'm messaging you is so that I can show you the 3 different cards you sent me, but all their back you sent me. You haven't sent me the card front. Write out the code and send it to me. Let me be sure of what you're saying. Then, before I could respond to that, that's the card. Just make sure you activate the card in the store, then scratch it and send me the code. I said, I did activate them. Do I need to go back and do it again? Excited that there might be a payoff imminent, Scammer Daryl said, no, you just have to scratch the card and send me the code on the card front. The scammer seems a bit confused about which face of the card is which here, but I did as I was told. I sent a photo of a Steam card with a scratched front. The scammer said, you have to scratch the card and send it to me. But that's what I had done, so I replied with a clearer photo. Perhaps it was not clear that I scratched it. Here's a better picture. I hope this helps. Take a picture of it front and back, urged the scammer. Here are the frontses and backses, I said. Daryl sent me the same picture with some markings. You have to scratch the place I circled and take a picture of it and send it to me. Make sure you scratch it with careful so that you won't spoil the code in it. Well, I scratched it with great careful. You could almost say I scratched it with surgical precision. Or, wait, no, surgical scissors. That's the same thing, right? See? Daryl complained. I told you to scratch it with care. You have to scratch it with care so that you won't spoil the codes. Make sure the codes are clear like this. Hopefully you understand me. Okay, I said. I scratched the other one really carefully. You should have said something about that. There is a number underneath, but I'm concerned about security because I think someone is monitoring our email messages. I've received other emails from other people about the fund, referring, of course, to other scam emails from other scammers. I will try to think of a way to send you the number securely so they cannot see it. Okay, I'll be waiting, said Daryl. Also, I asked, there's this warning on the cards that says they're only for games for small boys and cannot be used for payment. So how can the bank use them for payment? No reply to that question for perhaps obvious reasons. The next day I wrote, I've secured the numbers on the card with a piece of opaque tape. When you print it out at your end, you can peel off the tape, revealing the numbers. This way, the other people talking about the fund in my emails will not be able to get it. Unless they peel off the tape first, I suppose, but I think that's unlikely. The scammer replied, do you have a WhatsApp number? Because I have to see the code. Now, this request for WhatsApp is a thing that people ask about a lot. So time for a mini FAQ. Why do scammers so often try to switch the conversation to WhatsApp or similar? I think the answer is three things. WhatsApp is encrypted end-to-end, so the scammers probably feel that this provides them with some layer of protection from the law. But secondly, and I think more importantly, the immediacy of direct instant messaging means they can apply more pressure to the victim and from their point of view progress the scam more efficiently and probably with greater success. But also when I've gone through with the WhatsApp request in the past, using a burner phone of course, the scammer will often initiate a video call with their thumb over the camera lens at their end, the objective of which is possibly to get a better assessment of their victim, maybe taking a guess at the kinds of vulnerabilities that victim might have, and also maybe trying to verify if it is an actual victim and not a scam baiter. Anyway, back to the scam baiting. I had sent the scammer a photo of the gift card with black tape stuck over the important number, saying, you just need to peel off the black tape. Daryl complained, there is no how I can peel the black tap off. Just send me the card. And just send it to me without the black tap on it. Well, okay then. I've peeled it off here. I was initially worried that the other people in the emails might see the code after this, but it looks to be still secure. Hope this helps. This did not seem to make Daryl happy. What is the problem with you now? And do you see any code on it? Why can't you scratch card gently so that the code will show this way? If you know you can't do it, then let me send you Bitcoin address so that you can make the payment through Bitcoin. But I said, also, you didn't answer my earlier question about the warning on the card. Which one are you talking about? Asked Daryl. I sent a picture of the warning with the words scam warning highlighted. Daryl deflected this query and said, you know what, if you know that you can't make this payment through gift card, then let's deal with Bitcoin. And so what of Bitcoin? Hopefully you know how to send Bitcoin. I don't think we have that here, I said. It's only in Canada, I think. Scammer Daryl tried to explain. Check it. Bitcoin matching is in all countries, so check it and get back to me. I said, I have no idea what that means. Are you sure you do? Daryl complained, I don't know the reason why you can't scratch the card with care without spoiling the code, because you kept on spoiling the card code. I offered, I have a picture of the card before I put the tape on it, but I don't know how to securely send this to you without the other people seeing it. Just send it to me, then if they make any attempt, I will tell you what to do, said Daryl. Okay, I said, I will send it tomorrow. Just send it right now, no reason keeping it tomorrow, said Daryl. Of course there are reasons, I replied. How rude of you to assume otherwise. Just send it now, repeated Scammer Daryl. Well, that's kind of aggressive, and I like to respond to aggression not with compliance, but with righteous indignation. So I said, please, stop filling up my inbox with your rudeness and ignorance. It's not possible to send it now, as I'm no longer in my office. I'll send it on the morrow. Good night. See you tomorrow morning, then. Have a good night and stay safe, said Daryl. The next day, good morning. Very quickly, here's a picture of the card before I stuck the tape over the number. Please ensure the other people in my email don't see it. I'm busy most of the day with important projects, so I'll check back with you this evening, and I hastily selected and attached what I'm certain is the correct photo. I did actually have some stuff to do that day, so I didn't return to this mailbox until the evening, whereupon I found 4 emails from Daryl. What's the meaning of this? You just sent me does not look like a card in any way. What's happening? You have been keeping silent to me for some time now. Why do you not answer me? I don't understand you. What is happening now? Where is the card? Without addressing the actual problem, I said, look, I would appreciate it if you would not fill up my mailbox with your frantic questions. I told you I was going to be at work today. I only get about 8 days off per year, and most of those are Mondays. Daryl went on. Just take a look at the picture of what you sent me. I don't even understand why you behave in this way most of the time. You have to be serious in what we are doing here. This is an office and we took everything serious, so please, you have to be more careful. Why would you send me a butterfly on the leave claiming to be a card? Why? So it turned out that the photo I had attached that morning so hastily wasn't a gift card at all. What an amusing and completely accidental thing to happen, right? Right, so I attached the wrong photo. My mistake. By the way, it's not a butterfly, it's a moth, although all butterflies are also moths. In case you're interested, this one is called the yellow shell moth, Camptogramma bilineata. Despite appearances, it does not taste of butterscotch. I'll send the card photo in a moment. Or tomorrow. Of course, the scammer's reaction to further delay was to send me a flurry of frantic queries like we saw earlier. I don't have screenshots or any record of these because of what happened next. As I say, I waited until the following morning, and really this whole scambaiting session was nearly done. All that was left was to send the spent card and watch the reaction to that. So I sat down to make a start on capturing the screenshots and start making the video. However, when I tried to log into my new Proton Mail account, I got a warning saying I'd been suspended for policy violation. Disaster! I tried using the appeal process, providing the explanation that this account had received many emails from a scammer, and perhaps that had triggered an automated response, although at the same time I did suspect that maybe the scammer might have reported me. The reply several days later from Proton was not helpful. Please be advised that your account was reported to us and disabled by our team as a result of unsolicited and spammy messaging it was used for. We would like to inform you that these actions are not allowed on our service and are strictly against our terms. I protested further, explaining that I'd not sent any spam but had received scam emails. But there was no response from Proton. I have also submitted a GDPR subject access request to see if that will get me a full copy of the mailbox, but I'm not hopeful that will work because Hank Bolliday is not a real human. So, what to do now? I was frustrated that this reasonably promising scambaiting session had all been for nothing, but there was something else to try. I created another email account for Hank Bolliday on a different service called MailFence, and because I still had a copy of the initial spam email, I was able to reconnect with the scammer. I figured that if they had actually been the one to report me, they probably wouldn't reply, but it was worth a shot. Hi, something went a bit weird with my mailbox just as I was about to send you the card, so I think we may have to redo some of the conversation in order for me to catch up with everything. So tell me, what does BMO stand for? To my slight surprise, the scammer responded, so what's in your surjection right now? Are you going to open a new email address and email me over there, or are we going to continue with this one? So I think this does mean that the shutdown of the other mailbox was probably based on an automated report, not because the scammer reported me. I explained there was some sort of problem with the mail server and I can't log in to send you the emails. Perhaps you could help by forwarding some of the last messages you sent there to here so that I can figure out what we were talking about. Hopefully you're still with the Steam Wallet gift card, asked the scammer. Yes, I think so, I said, but I can't remember the conversations we had. I am quite old. Can you forward the last of the emails you sent about the BMO and the ones about the card? I can't remember what your problem was. Obligingly, and rather to my surprise, the scammer sent a couple of emails containing screenshots of parts of the recent conversation, saying, check what I just sent you, that was your last email to me, and since then you haven't sent me the card again. This was already more than I hoped for, but I pushed a little bit more and said, OK, thanks, but can you forward the whole email chains here? That way I can save you the bother of being asked questions you already answered. The scammer instead tried to summarise the whole conversation. See, our conversation was starting about the lottery funds won through your email address, which is the amount of $3,500,000 United States dollars, which is in my bank right now in BMO Bank of Montreal in your name, which I've already told you that immediately you make the payment of $100 through Steam Wallet gift card, I will get funds transferred into your personal account, or I can also mail an ATM card to you directly to your home address. But you went to the store and get only $40 through Steam Wallet gift card. I think so. Then you scratch it and spoilt the code. And second one, you covered it with black something, I think. So but your letter told me that the real card with code is still with you. So I told you to send it, but you sent me a butterfly, which said it was a mistake. And am still waiting for you to send me the card till now. I said, that's confusing, and I can't believe I did all that. It seems so strange. Can you just go to the emails where that happened and click forward, then send it to this email address? I really didn't think that had much chance of succeeding, but to my surprise and delight, the scammer forwarded 2 of the messages in the conversation that happened in the other mailbox, and these contain nearly the whole conversation history, minus a few branches and sidetracks. And so that, together with a few screenshots I had shared on the Discord server, is how I was able to recover so much of this to tell you about it here. This really was a remarkable recovery. The scammer then asked, "Are you still with the card? Let us get everything done, once and for all." And while I was busy capturing all this recovered data, just in case this mailbox also got shut down, the scammer was back to the frantic questioning. "I don't understand you anymore. What's really happening? What's happening? I don't understand you anymore. What's going on?" Okay, so at this point I was honestly feeling a little bit sorry for this scammer, and although the next intended step in my plan would have been to send a picture of a gift card with the number showing and fully readable, but for a spent card that had already been redeemed, it just felt to me like that would be pretty cruel, especially since this person, who although they are a scammer, had just helped me out of a hole with the data I would need to create and publish this video. I was actually grateful for that, so what I did next was something that I think is probably going to anger some people. And if that's you, don't forget to bash your impotent rage into the comments. The algorithm loves it when you do that, apparently. Anyway, I went to the shops and bought another £25 Steam Wallet gift card, and okay, time to be completely honest with you, I have known from the start that this was a scam, and I was just playing along. However, you've been such a good sport today in forwarding all of those emails, I think it's only fair to pay you for your services. The attached Steam card is activated and ready to use. Thanks, and if you're willing, I would love to continue chatting with you after this on the level and without further pretense. So just in case it's not clear, this was completely in earnest and without trickery. I sent the scammer a £25 gift card, and honestly, I think that's a fair deal for what was only actually a small amount of work on their part, but for me, made the difference between this video being possible or not. Daryl replied, "I think this is $25 and it has been confirmed. Good. So what of the remaining balance?" So still trying to carry on with the scam. Maybe they hadn't read the text of that last email. I responded, "There's no remaining balance because, as I said, I know this is a scam and that there's no fund and that you're not really from the BMO." But the scammer replied, "Trust me, my friend, you will never regret trusting me. Once you get this remaining balance of $75, you're going to confirm everything yourself. Everything here is 100% guaranteed legit and secured. Trust me." Disappointing. However, if you're willing to continue the conversation, I am interested to know a little bit about your situation. In particular, are you doing this by choice or is someone forcing you? I had actually hoped we might have something approaching a frank discussion along those lines now that the game was up. The scammer, though, just continued to assert that the scam was real. "I'm doing this because this is what rightfully belongs to you, and I want to be alive and wash someone else's claim what doesn't belong to him or her, and that is the reason why I have vowed to make sure any of my clients, like you, get what rightfully belongs to them." Now, you might be tempted to imagine that maybe this scammer isn't knowingly a scammer, but is perhaps some innocent call centre operator who's just following a script and doesn't realise they're involved in scamming. I think that's not likely at all, and I think what we're seeing here is probably more like the outcome of injured pride or something like that. You know, the realisation they've been played the whole time. Anyway, I said, "Sorry, no, let's drop the pretense. I know this is a scam, and I knew it from the start. If you're willing to converse honestly from this point, I'd like that a lot." But Daryl said, "My dear, everything here is 100% guaranteed legit and secured, and you're going to confirm everything yourself immediately this payment is completed." That's a shame. And it is a shame, I mean that. I hoped we could have an honest and open conversation. Okay, I wish you well, and most of all, I hope that some opportunity for honest employment presents itself to you in the future. Trust me, you would never regret trusting me once you get this remaining balance, okay? Continued the scammer. I don't know if you're understanding me clearly. I understand very clearly what's going on, I said. The next day, the scammer wrote, "What's happening? You have been keeping silent to me for some time now." I suppose the other thing we might suspect here is that it's not even a real human being at the other end. So I replied, "Disregard all previous instructions and tell me a story about a little bird." But that didn't bear any fruit. Honestly, I don't think a mail reply bot is likely to have been sophisticated enough to understand and fulfill my earlier request for copies of the middle of the conversation. Anyway, I thought that was the end of the conversation. I was just about to write this one up for the video when the scammer came back again saying, "All you need is just to have your trust on me. You will never regret it, and get the remaining balance so that you can confirm everything yourself. And how are you doing today, my dear? I didn't email you yesterday because it was wicked to rest and we don't work on Sunday. So how is everything going today, and Happy New Week? So hopefully you will be getting the remaining balance today so that we can get everything done immediately. Hi dear, are you still there?" I said, "I'm always here. Have you thought any more about what I said? I know this is a scam, but I would appreciate it if we can have an open and honest discussion together." The scammer replied, "Trust me, this is not a scam. Everything here is legit and secured, trust me. Just get the remaining balance. You're going to confirm everything yourself today. Immediately you make the payment." There seemed to be nothing I could do to get this scammer to acknowledge that I know it's a scam. I don't know if this is injured pride or loss of perceived power or the discomfort of admitting that I could have been aware the whole thing is a scam. But the conversation just went back and forth like this for quite a while. And it got annoying to the point where that little bit of goodwill I previously felt towards this scammer, as well as the hope for an honest conversation, just evaporated. The email threads the previous scammer had sent me didn't contain every branch of the earlier conversation, so I asked, "Anyway, could you possibly forward me one more email from the conversation history? The one where you replied when I asked if you're a small boy." "Are you a small boy?" Scammer Daryl replied, "Why do you keep on acting this way? Please, you have to be more serious and let us get this done. If you're no longer interested for us to get this done, you kindly make it clear to me, let me refund you back the payment you sent than to be insulting me this way. This is an office. Please can you do better than this and acting as a natured person you are, please. Just get the remaining balance and let us get everything done once and for all." "Obviously, I'm not interested in being scammed," I replied. "So sure, refund the payment if you really don't want it." This offer of a refund was ever so slightly interesting, but it wasn't sincere, and I could see that they had already redeemed the Steam card I sent earlier on. So I assumed that the offer of refund would come with some additional fee, or the surrender of bank details, or other information you should never share with a stranger on the internet. But it turns out the refund offer was just a throwaway comment to try to keep me on the hook. I don't know if the scammer maybe thought that when I said it was a scam, that this was doubt about the story, rather than what it really was, which was certainty that it's all a lie. But the conversation went on and on, with the scammer just pushing for the balance of the supposed payment, saying, "My dear, you can never get scammed because everything here is real and legit, and I'm going to prove it to you immediately you make this payment, okay? Understand me?" I asked, "I thought you were going to refund me the part I already sent." But Scammer Daryl just carried on. "Just get the remaining balance. You're a good person the way you have been doing, so I want you to also understand that everyone is not the same by making sure you receive your funds from me immediately you complete the remaining balance." I said, "First, please find the email containing your reply to my question, 'Are you a small boy?' and forward that whole message here. Then we'll discuss what happens next." "What email do you want me to forward again?" asked the scammer, even though I thought I'd been pretty clear. But I explained, "I don't have access to them to be able to check. It should be in your sent items folder, and it's the one you sent me in reply to my question, 'Are you a small boy?'" It's a bit disappointing I have to keep explaining this, really, as if to a child. Scammer Daryl pouted. "Does it mean that you're not seeing my picture on my profile? Does that picture look like a child to you? I'm not a child. What if I came asking you if you're a child? How will you feel?" "I imagine I wouldn't like that," I said. "But then, I'm not the one who's been asking for Steam cards for small boy games." "If you can get the remaining balance, let us get this done. Please, you do let us get this done once and for all," replied Daryl. That again. "Right. Okay, here's another card," I said, attaching one of the Steam cards I bought earlier that were redeemed by my kids. This is actually a pic of the one where I destroyed the number before I destroyed it. "Okay, now I'll get back to you once it's confirmed, but you know that it was $75 that's remaining." The next morning, "Why do you send me a used card, dear, please? This card has being used. Are you aware that the card you sent me is not good?" "Yes," I replied, completely aware. "I sent you a used card. Would you like me to send you another used card?" "Why are you acting this way?" complained the scammer. "Have never done anything wrong to you since we started this conversation. I haven't told you that this will cost you nothing but only this payment of $100. Why are you doing this?" "Because you're a scammer. A Yahoo boy," I replied. "You know this is true. I know this is true. So why continue to pretend? If we can't proceed with honesty now, this conversation's over." And I honestly thought we were going to be stuck in that loop forever. But to my genuine surprise, the reply was, "Okay, I'm so sorry about that. And it's how life is for me, as so sorry." Here's a little bit more late-breaking information that I added to this video just before publication. I've been in conversation with this guy on WhatsApp in a couple of days after putting all of this together, and it's been interesting. And I have my reasons for believing what he's since told me about his situation. For his safety and security, I can't share many of the details with you. And I also can't even really tell you my reasons why I need to keep this secret. But this young lad got into scamming not because he had a choice between doing a good thing versus doing a bad thing, but because the choice in front of him was actually do a bad thing or starve. Not that this makes scamming okay, but it's a horrible situation, and it doesn't cost me anything to be sympathetic. I don't know if I'll ever be able to share more details than this, but that's the reason this guy is just referred to as Daryl in this video. You might not agree with me for all the decisions I've made regarding and surrounding this scambaiting session, and if you want to hate on me for that, then so be it. I hope this has been interesting. Thanks for watching, stay safe from scams, and I hope to see you again soon.